Hello. Ugh. Hello. Hi. Ugh. Sorry, excuse me. One second. I'm just chilling, relaxing, trying to find something to listen to. I was watching someone else's stream, but I kind of want to stream myself. I think I forgot to post. Music? Maybe? It's kind of quiet. But I'm just gonna ink for a little bit. Not too much. And then I'm gonna switch over to RE8 on PS4. See if it runs good. The fuck am I doing? Oh. So let me find something to listen to. Music or sadness. I just had an idea what I want to listen to, but now I don't know. Yep. I gotta re-ink this.
about to break down. Caught up in a loop again, trying to find a way out. Same old shit, it's just a different layout. It's so played out, fuck you talking about. Reconditioning, bringing me to reckoning. Feel the weight of the world on my shoulders and my knees. Who gives a fuck about me? Only ones who love me. I rip out the leech, turn that good into hate. Wait, mass destruction, watch the world burn all around you. Suffocation from a ruling class, when they house do. Bitch, I am a straw in this land, fucking up the man. Never food, I'm getting with these bars, fucking break the law. Put a nail in my head, watch the blood gun. Weight on my shoulder, got me feeling so numb. 27 Club calling me for fun. Put me 6 feet deep in a coffin, I'm done. 27 fucking heaven. 27 fucking heaven.
She wants you to meet them.
She's always trying to make me be social. Cocktail parties, school functions, that time we planted trees in Jerusalem.
All
All of your scripture, I trash that. I'm in the zone, you in flashbacks. You trust a bitch, get your ass wrapped. I made a flip, I got cash back. All your fuck shit, better rap that. I need the truth like stat. Flow retarded, I'm eating well. Making beats on that speaking spell. Need a little coke so delicious. You got 3 for your wishes. Bottle broke from the visions. I got soul, but it's vicious. Better not shit on my moment. I got that shit on my own, bitch. Better be checking your tone, bitch. Millionaires hitting my phone, bitch. Who wrong? Bitch won't fuck with a new guy. Sometimes I better sit back, see what the crew got. Flipping the scene every time. Fuck with that shit on the side. She cut away on a dime. Fuck with me, family guy. Who wrong? Bitch won't fuck with a new guy. Sometimes I better sit back, see what the crew got. Flipping the scene every time. Fuck with that shit on the side. She cut away on a dime. Fuck with me, family guy. They wanted more, so I wrote 2. Jump if I owe you. Gerald Green should've told you. Don't get Asia carpet, no shoes. But don't hit my kicks on the floor. I'm getting 10s of their raw. Paying the 10s at the store. Ain't let them know I got more. My day, flight date. Watch me buy it, right aid. Been in shit, sipping my aid. Get my chips into my lays. See how I'm flipping these brands? Pepsi been hitting my land. Oops, I am killing your mans. Bitch, and I did it again. Who wrong? Bitch won't fuck with a new guy. Sometimes I better sit back, see what the crew got. See how I'm flipping these brands. Pepsi been hitting my land. Oops, I am killing your mans. Bitch, and I do it again. You looking old, fuck this shit, I save my soul. Fuck a platinum, I'll take gold. Fuck a plaque, I'm on a roll. I'm getting bold, I gotta go. Fuck all the shit, but the shit that I wrote. Fuck all the shit, but the shit that I wrote. Fuck all the shit, but the shit that I wrote. But the shit that I wrote. Who wrong? Bitch won't fuck with a new guy. Sometimes I better sit back, see what the crew got. Flipping the scene every time.
Fuck with the shit on the side. She got away on a dime. Fuck with me, family guy.
Who wrong? Bitch won't fuck with a new guy. Sometimes I better sit back, see what the crew got.
Flipping the scene every time. Fuck with the shit on the side. She got away on a dime. Fuck with the family guy. Fuck the shit. Fuck that shit.
Shout out Target Day for it.
Can't you see me standing right here? Life's bleeding from fear. I will give it straight from my veins. Needles are piercing through my skin. I feel the thread in the water's like. It's not that all of deception. No. I will give it straight from my veins.
SpongeBob, why do you look so scared?
Wait, you just wouldn't understand. Me hoy noy, me noy, me no hoy noy. Me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me noy. Me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me noy. Me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me noy. Me hoy, me hoy, me hoy. 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 Me hoy, me hoy, me noy. Me hoy, me hoy, me hoy. Me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me noy. Me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me hoy. Me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me hoy. Me hoy. I'm trying to get that draw by low, do the bob. I don't think he can be stopped. He's trying to race me. I don't give a fuck. I'm finna knock him off the block. Came with a Glock, came with a star. I'm with Patrick, yeah, he a star. I'ma run shit up, and you won't get far.
Can't slow down the ball whenever he out of bounds. I'm my brother's little Glock instead of stupid as those hell. Why the fuck should he race me? You must wanna go I do. I don't be understand. Don't touch right now. Yeah, we got him. Send him to right by him. I'm finna blink him. Yeah, I'm finna hit him. No, he can't control. Oh, we finna wet him up. Oh, we finna hit him up.
Me hoy, me noy, me hoy, me noy, me hoy, me noy, me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me noy, me hoy, me hoy, me noy, me hoy, 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 me hoy. Me hoy, that say talking.
No, come on.
Can't say when he walking.
Bust him now.
Sound like he a bad bitch.
Take it easy, Racer.
Then I cut him all quick. Me hoy, me noy, me hoy, me hoy, me hoy, me noy, me hoy, me noy, me hoy, me noy, me hoy, me noy.
SpongeBob, what are we gonna do about this fuck-ass boy right here?
Let's get him, Pat.
Let's get him back. Uno, dos, tres.
Nunca he sido bueno al olvidar, pero si tú lo pides, pues lo puedo intentar. Hoy estás pidiéndome a mí
Mi amor. Everyone's hypnotized. Everyone's hypnotized. Everyone's hypnotized. Everyone's hypnotized. Oops. My bad.
近頃そろそろ限界ルールなんか関係ないこんな日々振り切って今すぐ飛び出そう何もかも許されない自由にだってなりたい形なんてこだわんない壊したって構わないいつだって強く激しく思いはただ一つ終わりなんて信じない本当の明日探したたるまで
Let's go.
これからを無駄にしないこの時を生きるために余計なこと忘れて今こそ飛び出そう決められた道なんてないし全て自分次第だし後悔なんてしたくないだから怖くないから誰にも負けない強さで目的地向かってく速度上げて信じよう本当の明日必ず来るからブレイクダウン爆音で鳴るミュージック手が鳴るテンション一番で伸ばしてゆけ人限界打ちつける風も跳ね返すパワーでどこまでも走り続けろは？マジでありえねえし人のことなんだと思ってるの冗談きついわ喧嘩売ってるわけ
Let's go.
爆発しちゃうくらい何も聞こえないくらい胸の奥突き
Wait, his arm's too fucking low. That's so stupid.
向かい風にだって負けることなんてない戦い続けろ
Wait, I fucked that up. Well, there she goes, but the man is up a bed. That's with him like she don't even care. Maybe though, just yesterday, she danced with me the very same way. Dance all night long. I've ever seen. All night long, let her dance to her favorite song. La señorita.
Sat a man whose broad shoulders and sun-browned skin seemed out of place among those luxuriant surroundings.
I'll be right back.
He seemed more a part of the sun and winds and high places of the outlands. His slightest movement spoke of steel spring muscles knit to a keen brain with the coordination of a born fighting man. There was nothing deliberate or measured about his actions. Either he was perfectly at rest, still as a bronze statue, or else he was in motion. Not with the jerky quickness of over-tense nerves, but with a cat-like speed that blurred the sight which tried to follow him. His garments were of rich fabric, but simply made. He wore no ring or ornaments, and his square-cut black mane was confined merely by a cloth of silver band about his head. Now, he laid down the golden stylus with which he had been laboriously scrawling on waxed papyrus, rested his chin on his fist, and fixed his smoldering blue eyes enviously on the man who stood before him. This person was occupied in his own affairs at the moment, for he was taking up the laces of his gold-chased armor and abstractedly whistling, a rather unconventional performance, considering that he was in the presence of a king. "Prospero," said the man at the table, "these matters of statecraft weary me as all the fighting I have done never did." "All part of the game, Conan," answered the dark-eyed Poitanian. "You are king. You must play the part. I wish I might..."
Let me watch something for a little bit.
But the meaning behind that is unclear at best, and with such high box office results, Universal has no reason to stop, even with such abysmal critical reception. The captivating summer blockbuster is a thing of the past, as big studios continue to chase higher profits and greenlight less engaging stories.
People say, that's what I want from a cinema trip. I want to go to the cinema, I want to turn my brain off, and I want to enjoy some special effects smacking against each other. And that's fine if that's what you want, but that's not what I want. I don't want to turn my brain off. I don't.
Just look at how far these movies have come. Jurassic Park, in retrospect, feels like an independent film when contrasted against Dominion's ridiculous shootouts, high-speed vehicle chases, Chris Pratt stabbing the Giga like a video game character, and swarms of flaming locusts dropping from the sky like meteors. Wasn't the extinction imagery already the point of the previous film? Dominion's one single genuine moment of tension, one of two segments in the film capturing the familiar tone of Jurassic Park, is abruptly shattered when Chris Pratt appears off-screen to strangle the attacking Dilophosaur, followed by an electrocution from his Star Wars sidekick. A brief flash of what made Jurassic Park so special, before slapping the audience in the face to remind them, you're watching Jurassic World. This new series conceptually fails to capture the nuance and meaning inherent to the original novel and film. The danger of genetic power in Crichton's books surrounded hypothetical commercialization and mistreatment of cloned animals, and the idea of enhancing the behavior of dinosaurs for easier viewing by park guests. Dodgson mentions the idea of creating pet pygmy dinosaurs, or consumer biologicals, patented miniaturized versions of the animals for domestic households, designed only to eat InGen branded dinosaur food. These ideas were suggestions of dangerous concepts that could stem from technology powerful enough to recreate extinct life forms. They were not novels about how crazy it would be to walk down the street and get eaten by rampaging carnivorous dinosaurs, or how cool it would be to make a genetic hybrid that can create its own superpowers whenever it needs them. In all honesty, a Crichton hybrid would likely have been a sad, lonely, diseased husk of an animal, much like Hammond's dwarf elephant, an ethical statement about tampering with life and using it as a test subject for commercial ventures. But if that's what Crichton wanted the book to be about, then he would have written it that way, or made another sequel. But he didn't.
It's just like, I keep seeing that, like, oh, it's Crichton, it's Crichton. It's like, yeah, it's Crichton, but the difference between Crichton and people trying to emulate Crichton is Crichton was good at it.
You know, an idea can feel like it's within a Crichton-y universe, but if the rest of the dialogue, writing, and everything else that's written in that screenplay is as far from Crichton as can be, the movie isn't like a Michael Crichton film, is it?
Jurassic Park, the novel and the film, were about genetic technology, about ethics in advanced science, about corporate greed, about dinosaurs, and about the chaotic nature of playing God. It also featured strong character arcs, supporting the surface-level sequence of events with an engaging, emotionally satisfying story. The Jurassic World films are about nothing. except a sequence of events containing big dumb action scenes, nostalgic callbacks to better movies, and funding Chris Pratt's church.
I want to thank God. I always do that when I'm up on a big platform in front of a bunch of young faces. I say, I love God. That's my thing. I love him. And you should too.
God is real. God loves you. God wants the best. God loves you.
Shut your bitch
God
ass up.
wants the best
Shut
for
your
you.
bitch ass up.
Believe that. I do.
Shut your bitch ass up. Shut your bitch
A
ass
major
up.
component of Jurassic Park's appeal is within its title. A theme park where guests can finally witness centuries of study accumulated into real, living, breathing dinosaurs. The experience of Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler marveling at the Brachiosaurus for the first time is one shared directly with the audience, especially those in 1993, witnessing realistic, believable dinosaurs rendered on screen for the first time. These are real animals, real creatures that truly did exist millions of years ago. It's no secret that Jurassic Park took some creative liberties, even with the science available at the time. The Velociraptors should have been renamed to Deinonychus if they were going to appear at that scale, and the Dilophosaur's frill and venom were entirely fabricated. But ultimately, Spielberg really was trying to present the most accurate dinosaurs ever put to film at the time.
The only problems that I had were with the Velociraptor and the Dilophosaurus. There, the details were somewhat questionable. The Velociraptor was too big, and the Dilophosaurus certainly didn't spit venom.
Presenting theropods as bird-like was a paradigm shift in '93, while more obvious features like feathers were still quite speculative for non-avian dinosaurs. The characters involved were genuinely enthusiastic about these creatures, experts of their creative fields discussing how their theories held up alongside seeing the real animals. The public's interest in paleontology skyrocketed, creating the Jurassic Park generation, who have grown into the current wave of leading paleontologists and paleo artists that we see today.
Jurassic Park is probably the best thing that ever happened to paleontology. More jobs, more funding, that came from Jurassic Park. I don't think we can overstate how important that was to paleontology. I probably wouldn't have my job, and a lot of my colleagues wouldn't either.
The first part of the process is doing our research, talking to paleontologists, reading all of the research, looking at all the research we can find to be paleontologically correct.
You have to make sure that the movie's credible.
When people ask me, what's a dinosaur really look like? Where can I see a dinosaur? I tell them to go see the movie Jurassic Park.
The Jurassic World films completely disregard modern paleo accuracy to instead half-heartedly continue the established aesthetic of the original films, since many new and old species have regressed aesthetically and in their scientific accuracy. The incomplete DNA can no longer be used as a crutch, especially after the prologue of Dominion featured an Argentinian Giganotosaurus that looks exactly the same as its cloned counterpart, roaming North America 30 million years too late and squaring off with the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Many of the world dinosaurs have a wet, wrinkly plastic look to them, with heavily desaturated color palettes compared to the original movies. Stegosaurs droop their tails, Pteranodons look more like giant bats, the Dimorphodons have Rex head syndrome and look like background aliens from Star Wars. The Mosasaur is enormous and far too crocodilian. Similarly, most theropods are visually characterized more like crocodiles instead of birds or other types of lizards. And the one time they finally made a fully feathered raptor, they gave it the ugliest monster face possible. These prehistoric reptiles are not only ugly, but are treated with an insultingly mean-spirited monster movie irreverence. Pterosaurs are shot out of the sky, collapsing onto concrete. Herds of sauropods are mauled and left to die in misery. Raptors are blown up with rocket launchers and kitchen stoves, or fall out of planes. And an entire island of coexisting dinosaurs plummet to their watery graves after escaping a cloud of black volcanic ash. These moments aren't always intended to be viewed in a positive light, but this just means the films can employ as much gruesome dinosaur death as they like, if it means a cheap tug on the heartstrings for the audience. Not every scene needs to be full of whimsical awe, that would get repetitive, but the excessive cruelty on display is just disrespectful to the core appeal of the series.
It's important in these movies that the animals never be characterized as villains, because they're not. They're just there doing what they do. It's when the humans come in conflict with one another through greed or hate that they find themselves sort of at the mercy of the animals.
If Jurassic World wants us to believe that no one cares about dinosaurs anymore, becoming mundane and familiar due to the existence of the park, an analog to the audience's relationship with the franchise itself, why does it show us crowds of people ecstatic to see the Tyrannosaurus, or the Mosasaur, or the petting zoo, in the one place on Earth where these animals are viewable to the public? Of course people still love dinosaurs, and the billion-dollar returns of this series prove that people still love the original Jurassic Park, and want to recapture that experience again. But what's left now is a shadow of its former self. Its success derived from inheritance of the Jurassic Park label, getting butts in seats from name recognition, and being the only major live-action film series about dinosaurs.
He's exploiting your enchantment with these.
I refuse to believe these films inspire a new generation in the same way that Jurassic Park once did, due to their treatment of dinosaurs as either bloodthirsty monsters or fodder for shoehorned nostalgic sadness. The Jurassic World films have been released in an era where these kinds of nostalgic cash grabs are commonplace, and in a climate of critical apathy surrounding major blockbuster films.
Endless trash!
The rise of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the discourse surrounding it from popular figures online have conditioned audiences to trade standalone quality storytelling for non-stop action spectacle and obnoxious dialogue. Movies aren't meant to be good anymore. They're meant to pacify you for 2 hours and advertise the next 5 movies in their post-credit scenes, fueling clickbait speculation online that keeps the ball rolling while waiting for that next teaser trailer. It's incredibly rare to see a modern film that meets halfway, maintaining broad appeal without becoming shallow corporate sludge. It seems that even with these modern expectations, certain commonly accepted viewpoints still exist to oppose it. Terminator and Alien are known for their incredible second entries that are sometimes considered superior to the original, but are then followed by a spew of far worse stories to follow. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 was a phenomenal film, but few say the same for the infamous mess that is Spider-Man 3. The Godfather Part 2 is one of the most beloved sequels of all time, but the third is always left out of this conversation. It is not inherently impossible to create a good film sequel, but they require a strong vision, and an ability to at least somewhat maintain the tone of the original, without retreading the same ground. If it's not controversial to say that Alien and Terminator should have stopped at number 2, then Jurassic Park should be held to the same standard. The Lost World was enough, made clear by the abysmal Jurassic Park 3. Film sequels in particular pose a dangerous threat more so than many other genres of entertainment, as big-budget studio films continue to dominate the box office and push smaller, lower-budget films to the wayside. Quality filmmaking in the independent space is reserved for limited releases, which are very easy to miss, while Spider-Man Left His Wallet at Home has multiple showings per day for weeks or months after its release. It's a rare
Spider-Man
sight
left
for a
his
new
wallet
IP
at
to
home.
receive box office acclaim. 44 of the top 50 highest grossing films of 2021 were sequels or based upon and or featuring elements from existing intellectual property, like books, stage plays, video games, and theme park rides. Compare this to video games, a medium where small independent releases can triumph alongside giant AAA titles, sharing the front page on Steam or the best sellers list on the Nintendo eShop. Games also benefit from the iteration of sequels, focusing on improving mechanics and taking advantage of newer hardware and software, as they often don't strictly rely on storytelling as their core strength in the same way as film and literature. This medium is a goldmine, critically and financially, that Jurassic World has shockingly left undisturbed. Many people are challenged by this suggestion of letting franchises go, believing that the same things must continue indefinitely, producing a never-ending armada of capital C content for their consumption, and preventing newer stories from gaining footing in the industry. Why watch something new when you could watch a prequel story about young John Hammond, or the 33rd season of The Simpsons? Unfortunately, this is a product of modern popular culture and influencer content, encouraging people to base their entire personalities around corporations.
I've been busting my fucking ass being a Star Wars fan for 5 fucking years
I feel
on
the
the show.
same way.
Going to bat for their box office results, begging for extended universe material, antagonizing those who criticize the brand, and generally behaving like fucking parasites, desperately awaiting an invitation to a red carpet premiere among the Hollywood elite. This isn't dissimilar from Funko Pop collecting parents turning their children into slobbering billboards of their own interests, praying that the next generation never gets anything original to connect with, only being exposed to the same things said parents were already attached to from their own youth. This incessant regurgitation of IP from the late 20th century has conditioned grown adults to latch onto their childhood in a way that oversteps harmless fun and encroaches on a near abusive shunning of new ideas, blocking a new generation from forming their own interests. When do our children get to have their own Star Wars or Jurassic Park without just being another Star Wars or Jurassic Park film? Unlike replacing the best attractions at major theme parks, older movies don't have to disappear, so long as you're not relying on shoddy streaming services. They can have their moment in the sun upon release and still be rewatched endlessly in the future, while new stories get to emerge alongside them. You can love the old while still being ready to embrace the truly new. This is coming from someone who was featured in an official Jurassic Park toy commercial, but you won't see me sucking up to companies like a pathetic leech.
Jurassic World? Not a fan.
Realistically, what should Jurassic Park have done? Should it have ended after its second or third entry and been left alone forever? Is such a thing even possible in this nostalgia-fueled era of Hollywood? One series, one story, has dodged the corporate curse for over 3 decades. It's the only movie franchise I can think of where the proposal of another film is met with universal vitriol from its core fanbase, despite the desire from general audiences. This is, of course, the greatest film trilogy of all time.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to do Back to the Future anymore. 3 is enough. 3 is a good number.
And that's all there will ever be of Back to the Future.
Enough is enough.
We actually had T-shirts made up that had Back to the Future 4 with a circle and a slash through the Roman numeral 4.
Back to the Future?
No. At the end of part 3, it says the end. Something you rarely see at the end of any movie anymore.
Back to the Future 4 never happened, and stop asking me the question.
Nope. It's a trilogy.
Such a dumb question to ask. I'll be right back then.
At the rate Hollywood is
I'm
going
out.
with additional movies, it may end up being the only trilogy.
So I think 3 is the perfect amount of sequels that any movie should be done.
No remakes, no Back to the Future Part 4.
It's true that the sequels to Back to the Future were also a result of corporate interest. The first film performed so well that Universal requested more, with or without Zemeckis and Gale's involvement. Not only did they manage to craft 2 incredible sequels, an idea that never occurred to them during production of the original, but they obtained creative rights to the series as a means of blocking any further installments from production.
And as long as Bob Zemeckis and I have something to say about it, it will remain a trilogy.
Back to the Future ended on a high note in 1990, living on through the hearts of fans worldwide, remembered as a series of timeless classics. Just because there aren't any new films releasing today doesn't mean that new generations can't just watch what already exists.
Made 25 years after this film comes out, it's still going to be having almost the same interest and viewers as it did when it opened.
9, 10-year-old kids, they know the movies backwards and forwards. It's amazing.
Back to the Future lives on in popular culture, for better or worse, with supplementary merchandise like toys, comic books, video games, and a Broadway musical adaptation, keeping the series alive without tarnishing its image. It's ironic that its beloved theme park ride was replaced by The Simpsons, a zombified television show that refuses to die, regardless of its critical reception. The absolute total opposite of Back to the Future. There's no reason Jurassic Park couldn't have followed in Back to the Future's footsteps. Continue producing their wonderful toy lines for kids and adult collectors, develop video games like the already successful Evolution series and something more akin to the survival horror of Dino Crisis, and maybe the occasional non-canon cartoon series or spin-off. Almost 30 years after its release, Jurassic Park is beloved by many. You can still buy figures of the legacy characters like Grant, Sattler, and Malcolm, 4K Blu-rays of every film, adult-tailored Lego sets of the Tyrannosaur breakout, dozens of expensive statues for enthusiastic collectors, and countless other merchandise themed specifically around the first film. Will the same ever be said of Jurassic World? In 30 years from now, who's going to care enough to rush to Target to secure the latest clone baby Funko Pop? Does anyone even care now? Without a time machine of our own, it's not possible to repair Jurassic Park's reputation by ending the series in 1997 or 2001. But it can avoid further missteps if the right calls are made now, in the present day. After all, the future is what we make of it, so let's make it a good one. To whom it may concern, please stop making Jurassic Park movies. Thank you for watching.
Please, they suck. I was gonna play Resident Evil 8, but I think I'm gonna get going soon. I am really tired. But I'll try to play it in the morning. But I am not. I thought I might be able to pull through, but I'm just so freaking tired.
Whether or not aliens exist in our universe has been one of the most crucial and thoughtful debates in human history, and there are so many arguments for both sides, and today I am going to cover pretty much every argument against alien life. Now, their order of appearance in this video, I am ranking by how strong I find them to be, starting with the least strong ones and getting into the ones that could, you know, change somebody's mind. So yeah, let's get into this. Subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, according to this graph, only 1% of you are subscribed, which is ridiculous. That sounded too believable. That wasn't. According to this graph, actually, nobody is subscribed, so we need to fix that. But also follow my Instagram and join the Discord, links in the description. Let's get into the first argument. First, we have the early universe was hostile to life. The core idea here is pretty simple. The universe did not start out as a place where life, especially complex life, could realistically exist. Right after the Big Bang, the universe was basically just hydrogen and helium, plus radiation everywhere. All the stuff life needs on Earth, carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, metals like iron and magnesium, had to be cooked later inside stars and then scattered into space when those stars exploded. That process takes time. Stars have to form, live out their lives, go supernova, and only then do they enrich the surrounding gas clouds with heavier elements that can build planets, atmospheres, oceans, and eventually life. Because of that, the very early universe was metal poor in astronomy terms. Fewer heavy elements means fewer rocky planets and fewer Earth-like environments. Even if a planet could form, it might lack things like a solid crust, a stable atmosphere, or enough chemistry to support anything beyond very simple hypothetical chemistry experiments. On top of that, the early universe was much more violent. More frequent gamma ray bursts and supernovae in young star-forming regions would have been blasting planets with sterilizing radiation much more often than today. So even if life tried to get started, it would be constantly exposed to big catastrophic events that could wipe it out or reset everything. And this one ends up being at the bottom of the list because it's almost comforting once you sit with it. Like, instead of saying aliens don't exist, it just says they might show up late. If the early universe was chemically poor and full of violent radiation, that's a very temporary condition on cosmic timescales. Stars age, metals accumulate, gamma ray bursts become less frequent, and the environment gradually becomes more forgiving. Like, an optimist can look at that and say, okay, so the first half of the universe's life was a write-off, but the second half might be where everything actually happens. It also does not directly contradict any of the classic sci-fi hopes. You can still imagine galactic civilizations, ancient alien ruins, or crowded star systems, and you just move all of that into a later window where the chemistry and radiation environment are better. So compared to other ideas that we're going to get into later on, this one barely touches the core belief that life could be common. It just says not at the beginning, which makes it one of the least damaging for people who want to stay optimistic. So next we have technological civilizations may be brief. This argument says that even if technological civilizations do arise in the universe, they may not stay technological and detectable for very long. There is a short window between when a society learns to harness large amounts of energy, build radios, lasers, or starships, and when it either destroys itself or changes into something much quieter. While in that window, it is loud in a way that other civilizations could notice. Outside that window, though, it might be extinct, collapsed back to a pre-technological state, or transformed into a form that barely interacts with the outside universe. The self-destruction side of this is the most obvious. As soon as a species gains advanced technology, it also gains powerful ways to kill itself. Nuclear weapons, engineered pandemics, uncontrolled artificial intelligence, extreme environmental damage, and runaway climate change are all examples where a civilization civilization could knock itself down in a relatively short amount of time compared to cosmic timescales. Even a few hundred or a few thousand years of dangerous experimentation is nothing compared to the billions of years a star lives. So one version of this argument says that most technological societies flicker on, experiment with dangerous tools, and then wipe themselves out or cripple their ability to maintain high tech. There's a quieter version that does not require global catastrophe. A civilization could simply lose interest in broadcasting, exploration, or wasteful megastructures. It might move into very efficient, low-energy computing, use tight beam communications that are almost impossible for outsiders to intercept, or retreat into virtual realities and local concerns. From the outside, that looks similar to extinction. You wouldn't see big radio beacons or obvious engineering projects. The civilization still exists, but its detectable signature is tiny compared to the background noise of space. So the reason that this one doesn't rank super high on this scale is mostly that it attacks timing, not existence. It even kind of posits the idea that civilizations do exist, but they just don't stay like loud for very long. So this one actually kind of admits alien existence. And if you're optimistic, this is actually pretty easy to spin into a coping story. You can say, we're early in our tech phase. They might be far ahead or far behind, and we just haven't overlapped yet. Or most species grow up, stop screaming into the void with omnidirectional radio, and switch to efficient narrow communication we can't detect. It definitely explains the lack of contact, but it actually posits that aliens probably do exist. So yeah, this one is really not that good of an argument, but it is more interesting and more compelling than the ones before it, in my opinion. So let's move on. Now we have the non-convergence of intelligence. Shit, dude, saying that out loud, it sounds like a Star Trek movie or something, like a shitty one. This argument starts from a simple observation. If intelligence were the natural end goal of evolution, you would expect it to show up over and over again in different lineages. But on Earth, it really did not. Life has been here for billions of years. Complex multicellular life has been around for hundreds of millions of years. In that time, with all those ecosystems and all those different branches of the tree of life, you get exactly one species that builds radio telescopes and rockets. You can find clever behavior in lots of animals, but full symbol-using, tool-making, technology-building intelligence in the way we mean for aliens is basically a single accident. Evolutionary biology already has a...
I gotta go. I'm almost falling asleep in my chair, but I'll try to get back on in the morning. Anyway, peace out. Later. Sorry I couldn't play Resident Evil 8. I'll play it Village later. Anyway, love you. Bye.